In the heart of West Africa, a voice rose with defiance, echoing far beyond the borders of Burkina Faso. It was not the voice of one man alone, but the voice of a nation that refused to kneel, a continent that had suffered for centuries, and a generation determined to no longer live as slaves. The declaration was bold, simple, and revolutionary. Burkina Faso builds camper truck homes for its people. At a time when many expected this small African country to remain dependent on foreign aid, scattered in poverty and broken by hardship, it chose a different path. The world had told them they were too poor to dream, too weak to create, too dependent to survive without foreign charity. For decades, they were conditioned to wait for donations, for loans, for crumbs from the same hands that once enslaved them. But Burkina Faso, under the spirit of resistance, decided to break these chains forever. These camper truck homes are more than just metal wheels and walls. They are symbols of freedom, dignity, and survival. They represent a home that can move across deserts, climb mountains, and shelter every family no matter where they stand. They are a shield against storms, bombs, and displacement, built not by colonizers or foreign powers, but by the hands, minds, and sweat of the Burkinabe people themselves. For centuries, homelessness meant vulnerability. A people without shelter were easy to control, easy to scatter, and easy to enslave. But a people with homes, mobile, resilient, and proudly their own, could never again be broken. These trucks are not just structures of survival, but moving revolutions on wheels. The declaration shook the arrogance of those who doubted Africa's strength. Outsiders began to question, why camper trucks? Why not wait for help? But the answer was clear. When bombs fell, when villages burned, when mothers had no roofs to protect their children, the world was silent. Now that Africa builds for itself, their tongues move in mockery. Hypocrisy exposed. This project is not charity. It is proof that Africans can build with their own hands, protect their families, and shape their destiny without begging for permission. Camper truck homes are not the end of the journey. They are the beginning of a revolution in self-reliance. Burkina Faso has declared a new chapter, and in doing so, has set the tone for all of Africa. The camper truck homes of Burkina Faso were never meant to be seen as ordinary shelters. They are a direct act of resistance, a response to centuries of humiliation, and a revolutionary tool for survival. To the people, these homes meant far more than steel frames and moving beds. They carried within them the soul of a defiant nation. A homeless population is a vulnerable one. Without shelter, families are torn apart, children suffer under storms, and entire communities collapse under the weight of despair. A displaced people are easy to scatter and control, their lives dictated by foreign aid, their dignity reduced to dependency. But when homes are built on wheels, when they can travel wherever the family needs, the story changes completely. Homelessness turns into mobility, weakness turns into resilience, and despair turns into hope. These mobile homes stand as a revolution because they transform the definition of what it means to live free. They ensure families remain together, united and proud, even in the face of hardship. They turn vulnerability into strength and dependency into independence. By creating something so innovative with their limited resources, the Burkinabe people showed the world that dignity cannot be given by outsiders. It must be built from within. Critics laughed and mocked. They asked why such a project was necessary. But these critics had been silent when Burkina Faso's people slept under open skies, when bombs fell on their villages, and when orphans cried out for safety. Their sudden voices of doubt revealed only hypocrisy. They preferred Africa weak, broken, and dependent. But by building camper truck homes, Burkina Faso declared to the world, we will no longer wait. We will no longer beg. We will build for ourselves. This project is not just a housing solution. It is a political message, a social transformation, and an economic innovation all at once. It is a declaration that the people will no longer accept survival dictated by outsiders. They will create their own path, design their own solutions, and protect their own families. The camper truck homes represent a living revolution, one that proves Africa's imagination is alive, that its hands are not chained, and that its destiny is no longer written in foreign capitals. For the people of Burkina Faso, every wheel that rolls forward is a reminder of freedom, and every wall that shelters a family is proof of resilience. This is not a small project. This is the rebirth of dignity itself. Burkina Faso's declaration was never only about itself. From the moment these camper truck homes were unveiled, the message stretched across the African continent. This was a call to every nation, every leader, and every child. Africa must rise. For too long, Africans were told their destiny was controlled by others. They were told to wait for foreign aid, to beg for handouts, to survive under roofs built by the same powers that once enslaved them. But the camper truck homes rejected this entire system of dependency. They proved that what Africans build with their own hands is stronger than what is given to them. The West builds weapons to destroy, but Africa builds homes to protect. The West builds prisons to divide, but Africa builds trucks to unite. The West builds walls of control, but Africa builds roads of freedom. Every nail, every bolt, every panel of these homes is a declaration of African independence. This is why the project became more than housing. It became a continental movement. If Burkina Faso, with so little, could create such a revolutionary solution, then what excuse do larger, richer nations have? Why should Africa wait for others to build schools, hospitals, trains, and industries? Why should Africa beg for loans when it already has gold, land, talent, and strength? The camper truck homes declared a simple truth. We do not need permission to dream, to build, or to lead. This message shook the world. It exposed the hypocrisy of those who exploited Africa's resources while pretending to offer aid. It reminded the youth across the continent that they are not a lost generation, but the generation of rebirth. It told every African child that tomorrow can be better, not because someone else built it, but because they themselves have the power to create it. For Africa's enemies, those who profit from its suffering, the project was a warning. Their time is ending. No longer can Africa be controlled by bribes, lies, or bombs. An awakened people cannot be enslaved. The wheels of these camper homes are not just rolling across Burkina Faso, they are rolling across history, crushing centuries of colonial chains beneath them. To Africa itself, the message was clear. Unity is strength, self-reliance is survival, and dignity is non-negotiable. The road ahead is not easy, but it is possible. If Burkina Faso can achieve so much with so little, then the possibilities for Africa are endless. The camper truck homes are not just for Burkina Faso. They are for Africa. They are a call to rise. The final chapter of this story is not about trucks. It is about tomorrow. When President Ibrahim Traoré declared that Burkina Faso builds camper truck homes for its people, he made it clear. This is only the beginning. These homes belong to the farmers who work the fields, the workers who keep the nation alive, the students who dream of a better tomorrow, the soldiers who defend freedom, and the mothers who raise the next generation. They belong to every Burkinabe citizen because they are symbols of dignity. They must be defended as one would defend land, family, or honor. To the youth, the message was the most powerful. With so little, they had built something extraordinary. Imagine what they could build with all that Africa truly has: industries, schools, hospitals, railways, and cities. The camper truck homes are proof that nothing is impossible. The youth are not a lost generation, but the builders of a new Africa. They are the heartbeat of the rebirth. This project also carries a warning to Africa's enemies. Empires do not last forever. Colonizers do not rule forever. Oppressors cannot silence a people who have awakened. No amount of bombs, lies, or bribery can kill the spirit of freedom once it has taken root. The camper truck homes are living evidence that Africa has awakened, and an awakened Africa will never return to sleep. The future of Burkina Faso and Africa is not to bow, not to beg, and not to fear. It is to build. Build industries stronger than foreign armies, build communities that cannot be broken, and build a destiny that belongs only to Africans themselves. The project of camper truck homes is the spark. What follows is a fire that will spread across the continent. The world watches with suspicion, whispers in their capitals, and trembles in their embassies. But Africa does not seek their permission or their approval. Africa seeks justice, dignity, and freedom, and it will have them. Long live Burkina Faso. Long live Africa. Long live the spirit of resistance, because the journey has just begun.